Balitang National. Good morning, Pilipinas, and welcome to another edition of Balitang National. For this video, allow me to use English and Tagalog as our medium of instruction. Halina't makinig sa pagsimplify ng isang subtraction operation between two rational expressions here. Meron po tayong b plus 1 all over b squared. And then we are going to subtract 3b minus 1 all over b cubed to the first rational expression. Take note po, rational expressions are also considered somewhat like fractions. And we need to understand that yung processes po ng ating subtraction of fractions are also applicable here, or the concepts are also applicable here po. Pag meron po tayong dalawang fractions, just like let's say 1 fourth, and then you're going to subtract po 1/6. Di po pwedeng i-subtract immediately. Na mangyayari po, yung numerator is magiging 0 and whatever will be the denominator, the result will be 0 po. Di po pwede yon. Ang gagawin po natin dito is we're going to look for the least common denominator. And bakit po maghahanap tayo ng LCD? Kasi nga po, in the process of subtraction, which also includes the process of addition, we cannot subtract immediately dissimilar fractions. Dissimilar fractions in a sense na yung mga denominators po natin ay di po magkahalintulad. So we're going to make sure that they will be the same in the process of LCD so that we could subtract later. And whenever we are going to look for LCD, we also need to apply po yung tinatawag nating equivalent fractions. Kagaya po ng ating rational expressions na nandito po, yung b squared at b cubed natin, di po sila magkapareha. So we're going to look for the LCD of the two rational expressions of our denominators b squared and b cubed. If we're going to look for the LCD of 1/4 and 1/6 po, yung mangyayari dito is we're going to find a common denominator sa kanila. We can use 24. That's one strategy po. Minumultiply lang po natin yung 4 at saka 6. Pero huwag niyo pong kalimutan na yung 4 po natin is 2 times 2. And yung 6 natin po is 2 times 3. Since we're looking for the least common denominator, we can just simply use 12. Why 12? Kasi nga po may dalawang 2 dito at saka may isang 2 dito. We are not going to use 6 or 3 2s po, which is equal to 6. We can only use or we may use dalawang 2 times 2 and then yung isang 3. Kasi kapag least common denominator po, yung pinakababa na possible value na dadaanan ng 4 at saka 6. Dadaanan na naman nila yung tinatawag nating 24, pero mas mababa po yung 12 natin. Kasi nga po, 2 times 2 is 4 and 3 is 12. So this is the same thing here. We are going to look for the least common denominator. We know po that b squared is a result when you multiply 2 b's. And then yung b cubed natin, we have 3 b's multiplied with each other. The LCD here po is yung item na pag lalagyan lang po natin ng isa pang b ay magkapareha na po sila. Huwag niyo pong gawing b to the power of 6 kasi pwede na po siya tinatawag nating least. So lalagyan natin ng isang b lang po para magkahalintulad na po silang b cube. So yung LCD natin dito is actually b cube, hindi po b to the power of 6 because this is the least common denominator. And the hint po for variables is we just need to look for the maximum exponent by addition. Okay? So, lalagyan po natin ng isang 1, magiging b cube na po siya. So, kagaya po nito. Di po katulad ng numbers is we're going to look for factors kasi numerical expressions po sila. Pag literal po expressions or literal coefficients, kagaya po ng variables na ito, simply need to understand the maximum exponent that can be placed for a same variable. Now that we have this least common denominator, we can now operate our numerator. But let's not forget that there would be proper multiplier. Kagaya po nitong 1/4 minus 1/6. Di po pwedeng 1 minus 1 pa rin po. Kahit na may LCD kayo. Kasi mangyayari nito, it still be 0. Yung gagawin natin is ito po. Yung ating least common denominator, let's divide it by 4. Yung kada denominator natin. So when we have 12, because this is 12, divide by 4, that's 3. That should be the multiplier of the original numerator of 4. This is the concept of equivalent fractions. We need to convert our numerator as well to an equivalent fraction of 1/4 so that we can operate it properly. Kasi nga po, when you're going to multiply 3 times 1, that's 3. Yung denominator natin is 12. 3 twelfths is also 1/4. That's what we mean by equivalent fractions. If we're going to do the same thing on the other side, let's say for example lang po, 7 po siya. So, 12 divided by 6 is 2. That would be the multiplier of 7. Okay? Multiplier din po. And let's not forget that the operation here would be the operation between the two terms. Now, I'm going to let you continue that on your own. But the same concept will be placed here. So, b cubed, we have b cubed to be divided by b squared. May matitira pa pong isang b. Kasi loss of exponents, 3 minus 2, you will have b to the power of 1 or simply b. So, that b is the multiplier of the original numerator of the rational expression with denominator of b squared. So, you have b plus 1. Yun po ang mangyayari dito. Now, let's proceed to the second. B cubed divided by b cubed is just 1. So, that's the multiplier of your 3b minus 1. Now, most of us won't multiply anymore it by 1 kasi nga it's just the same. But I'm just multiplying this one and include parentheses so that when we subtract later on, because this is one of the things na nahihirapan yung iba sa atin. Whenever we remove grouping symbols preceded by a negative or a minus sign, there should be something to happen on the terms here. Okay? Kasi kapag di po nyo lalagyan yan, let's say, yung gagawin natin is wala po ito, saka wala po ito. And lalagay na po natin is minus 3b at saka minus 1. It's incorrect na po. Kasi nga po, yung minus 1 natin, it will not be retained as minus 1. And it will happen with this notation. Let's just continue. Here, we're done providing our equivalent fractions, or in these terms, equivalent rational expressions. Let's operate our numerator. b times b is b squared. b times 1 is b. Now, on our next term, when we multiply this, we are going to distribute the negative sign. So, negative 1 times 3b, you have negative 3b. The negative 1 times negative 1, it's plus 1. Again, sabi ko kanina, if you were able to forget placing this and write only minus 1, it's not the same as the actual answer because you need to change the negative 1 po kasi nga kasama po siya sa grouping symbol na sinasubtract. So, this is still over b cubed. Now, let's try to combine our numerator. You have b squared, that's minus 2b, and then plus 1 over b cubed. Now, this is our difference po. Ito po yung final result natin. Now, you can still simplify or factor our numerator. This is a perfect square trinomial. The factor of that is b minus 1 times b minus 1. I'm going to let you do that on your own po. Pero po, yung purpose ng ating factoring is to see if meron po tayong makakancel sa baba. Yung ating denominator is b cubed. Wala pong makakancel dito kahit na po b minus 1 at b minus 1 yung numerator natin. This would mean this is now our final answer. This again, the difference po ng dalawang rational expression natin na naibigay kanina using the concepts of LCD and the proper application of operations which involves in subtraction and multiplication of rational expressions. Lester Lou Sigumpan, nagbabalita for Balitang Rational. Huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe, i-like at i-share ang video ito. Maraming salamat!